All she needs is that Venus, a little bit of encouragement, and like Libras, basically, if you listen to Libras, they'll start talking. If you're in a club and you start listening to them, they'll buy the drinks, they'll talk all night. They like to talk, they like to be appreciated. So you can see this liking to be talked, like to be appreciated, having valuable things to say. She had the real estate and she has the astrology. She's always loved the astrology. She didn't believe she was mathematical enough to do it, but she certainly, you can see the value of her being able to respond to people, finding things that would be of use to them, and having things to say and being appreciated. What a wonderful match. There's no difficult aspects to her sun. Her career, her goals, successful. Okay. And the Venus too, no bad aspects. That's nice. Okay. She lives a nice style. She likes it, has taste, nice style. Okay. And even the Mars, which is in the 6th house, in Virgo, hardworking, busy, keeps busy, a little fussy, no bad aspects. Trine Moon, sextile Saturn, no stressful aspects to it. So Venus, Mars, Sun, no stressful aspects, but they're all in the 6th house of improvement, of fixing things, of working things. She feels she has to work to make the relationship work, and that's a really good attitude to have, especially if it's matched by someone. So it can be suckered if the partner isn't reliable. So these are the things you grow out of, like she might have married to get out of the home, get away from the parents, and then she might have had the bad choice in that, and then that marriage had the kids, had to fill that out, and finally she got a good marriage, and really started making changes, making things work really well. So she, it's so interesting. Other different things, but her ability to work and get what she wants to succeed, to have good skills. That's it. So she has a skill that suits her that she can do. So just in this divide around this in her life since her second relationship, was been for quite a number of years now. She always wanted to live in the South. So they bought a property in Sedona down in the States. So she has her family up in Canada, and she goes down the States in the winter, and she has some time where she has to deal with all the family, and she has a whole chunk of time where she's not working. She's on her own. Actually, I think she is doing real estate down in the States too. So, but I think that's a beautiful poetry. Okay, the Jupiter, we talked a bit about the Jupiter's conjunct Pluto, squaring the Saturn, understanding how people can be messed up or what's there, and trying to get the right understanding, especially if it's tied into family, what's right, what's wrong. I got to help the kids. How do I teach the kids? How do I learn? How do I help them? But as she gets to know that, that's incredibly useful skills if you add that to astrology, and where she could really advise people who are in trouble, people who have difficulties, and how to get out of it. She did it herself. Not to be the ambitious person, to be the efficient, effective person. So this efficient work site is the 6th house. It's also the house of 6th house. It's the house of discipleship and of like yoga and discipleship, where you're trying to improve your life and you're trying to learn from someone, a spiritual master, something to learn how to be in your apprenticing. So it's the house of apprenticeship. So, that's her ability to work, to prove things, but she has this is also, that apprenticeship also leads into the healing. See, she has her planets in her healing houses. So as she gets older, the teacher, the healer, these things are going to come out. She's going to have these skills that are going to help other people. Okay. Now, the Saturn, it's in the 7th house. So you see Saturn in the 7th house implies late marriage, difficult marriage, and the Neptune, confusing, the need to communicate. So the first one was really negative. The second was, I think the person was a little bit older, and there's the Saturn, but they had something in common. They had a common belief, and it worked. So that was, she had someone she trusted and who liked her, and it worked. To the Saturn, she turned the Saturn into a positive success, but still, family's still there that she has to deal with. She still has kids to care for and help, and wants to make things, so like that. So you can see There's still the two sides of her chart, the family side, the relationship side. Okay. Saturn Pluto can be really driven. Saturn, Pluto squaring Saturn, it's harsh, but it really is hard working. And both of those piling up on the moon, she'll always do the extra work. Even when she was going to classes, she came on last set of personal classes. She'd always come in at the last minute right from work, come in. Of course, she would bring tea or coffee and bring donuts. She'd pick things up on her way, so she'd come with treats. And everybody would have those that would happen in the class. They almost got too used to having that. So, okay, now, okay, her Uranus is in the 4th house. That usually implies a certain insecurity of roots. It's in Cancer. The need for security is there. The motivated by home and security is there. But Uranus means there's a need to be independent, not there's a tendency to feel insecure there. So since that affects her thinking, how do I get it? This is insecure here. How do I get out of these insecurities? How do I get it? She was born in an unstable world. It affected her mind to a sort of obsessive degree, and she would work really hard to make sure her world was stable and not insecure. You know, with successes and failures along the way. The Neptune we talked about in the 7th house in Libra, the dreamy relationship. She's not really ambitious, but she's very efficient. If she has something she believes in for a partner and they're working together on something, she's going to be totally supportive. Okay, and yeah, and we talked about the Pluto. Pluto conjunct Jupiter to fight over what's right and what's wrong around kids, around family, around influence of. If you're divorced, you got two influences. Your influence on the husband, the ex influence on the kids, and they have that. So that struggle is learning. I mean, we all got stuff. That's the stuff that upsets her. I mean, she took care of her mom to the day her mom died. She was taking her long before a lot. Even when she was in pathetic realms, she was still helping her mom. Not easy, but she still did. She'll do that for her kids. She wouldn't quit on anybody because she wouldn't want people to go through some of the isolation she felt. But this is a struggle to understand kids, make sure they get their education, do anything to understand what I got to do. All of these things are there. But they're responding. So whenever a kid comes up with a problem, say, Mom, I got a problem. Guess who's going to be the easy hit? I'll help. Okay, we'll do this. What are we going to do? That's her natural side. She wouldn't almost have defenses against that unless she was in a supportive relationship that could see through it. Okay, so with the angles, I'm just talking little things to make it familiar so we get it. So it's not just a piece of paper. Normally when we're doing this, you have a little bit of history from someone. I always get a little 5 or 10 events of someone's life, and that allows me to put this story together and see how it works. And then you see the angles, motivated by the moon, whoa, by the Cancer, by security, and the moon's under affliction, so she's motivated to deal with and to survive and deal with things. They're very sensitive on a personal level. But she would also be sensitive how people would be looking for a home, or like in real estate, you can see how that would work out really well. Here's a nice place, here's the best place. You can't get a regular place, here's an unconventional place you could find her. Like, that could work that way, but the unconventional home life, how it's played out, well, first it was in a marrying out of culture, and then that marriage ending, big shock. But then living in 2 worlds, living in 2 countries, and having, like, this was a lot more insecure when the kids were younger, and it's a lot less insecure now that she's older and the kids have grown up, and she's still, if the kids came and asked her if she had a problem, she's going to respond. She's not going to ignore it. Okay, so but that's because the IC's in Cancer, and it's ruled by the moon. Okay, all her angles are in cardinal signs, so it's like do its driving, it's dynamic. the Aries ascendant, she's going to project what I have to, I'm doing this, what do you need done? What do you need done? Okay, I'll get this done. Okay, I'll rush to get this done. Okay, I'll be 5 minutes late. I've got to go take care of this and I'll get there. Okay, so she'll do things. She may get a plan and be doing too much and have difficulty being on time sometimes, because that Neptune Mercury can be trying to please everybody, and then it's hard to keep up with everything with the Aries ascendant. But it's a pretty good Aries ascendant. The Mars that rules it's in the 6th house, working, being of service, no bad aspects to it. That's okay. There's a certain gullibility. Who am I, Aries ascendant? I'm doing this with the Neptune opposing it. The Mercury, Venus, and the Neptune all opposing it. It's really the Neptune that will stand up to her. So there's a certain gullibility of doing what's expected of the partner. So there's a tendency to set up a codependency. And for the codependency, if it's bad, it's going to diminish what she's doing. It's going to be much more distorted into haunting. But if it's good, it's going to be very idealized and she'll be very dedicated. So, but why bother doing it if it doesn't mean anything to anybody? That's the daylight, the darkness increasing. Then she projects out, and the midheaven's in Capricorn. So she has a need to work something practical, traditional, secure. That's the Capricorn up there. That's the real estate agent. It's a good career. It makes money. It's stable. It's where you work at things. It may go through its fluctuations, but there's a practical side to it. I think for many years, I think she's always worked in a line with one big corporation or another big real estate company or another. She's not so much the independent person. She tends to work aligned with someone and then responds to what's needed and responds better than other people. Okay. So again, it would depend who she's partnered off, whether who she's working with, the Saturn that rules at 7th house. Okay. And there could easily be clashes between the partner she works with and the partner at home. It could be two different worlds. Okay, so this is just place it. The descendant, we've talked about, this is the Libra descendant ruled by Venus conjuncting it, the Sun conjuncting it. It's not bad aspects, it's just the Neptune Mercury that's there. And it's a little anxious and nervous on her own. She's not someone who really wants to be alone. She works best when she's responding to someone. But the big criteria is if you're responding to someone that's good for you and thinking well for you, or someone thinks they know what's best for you and have to and smothering you or not thinking in your best interest. Who do you choose? So the Venus rulership of her Sun Libra and Moon in Taurus, you have to be careful what you ask her. You have to be careful who you align with, because once you get it, you got to work. It's easy to attract people, but once you get them, it's hard to get rid of them. So this is part of the puzzles. So okay, that's now.